Frank Zanu is saying foundational black Americans have no culture. Not just that, he's saying black people have never built anything, never governed anything, never created functional societies. He's even arguing that slavery, colonialism, and white supremacy don't explain our condition today. That's not honesty, that's revision. And what makes it dangerous is how calm it sounds, how confident it sounds, how reasonable it sounds, until you actually examine it. Tonight, we're not trading insults. We're dismantling lies. We're exposing how this narrative erases history, collapses lineage, and quietly hands white supremacy a full pardon, while blaming black people for everything done to us. If you've heard Frank Zanu and felt something wasn't adding up, you're not crazy. Articulate nonsense is still nonsense. And tonight, we're breaking it down. You are now tuned into SincereluvdagodCast. Yo family, real quick, I'm proud to announce the soft launch of Sincereluvdagod's new book, From the Womb to Illmatic, a hip-hop-inspired blueprint for unlocking your child's inner genius. This ain't your average parenting book, this is for the culture. Inspired by Illmatic, built around his own son Seven's early development, and packed with real tools to help parents turn everyday moments into genius-level learning. If you've ever wanted to give your child a head start without losing your roots, this book is for you. Available now on Amazon. Order now and leave a 5-star review. You already know, we raising brilliance around here.
Hi, I'm Seven, and I'm the Super Harry. That means I ask big questions, I make big moves, and I come from something powerful. In this series, I broke through change, embraced my culture, and unlocked the gifts that my ancestors gave me. These books are for kids like me, kids with heart, with pride, and with big dreams. Come join the journey. Collect all 4 Seven the Super Hero books and unlock your power. Available on Amazon and Kindle now. Order your copy today.
Here's the way it is. You live in direct relation to the poets, the heroes, and the sheroes you have. Always honor the elders. Then you honor yourself. Honor women. You honor yourself. Honor men. You honor yourselves.
Peace, family. What's good? What's good? What's good? Hold up a second. I'm over here trying to post up the link. Hold on. Give me 1 second, family. Y'all hit that
Peace,
like
peace,
button.
peace. What's good, family? We're back with another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast.
There you
I
go.
am your lovely co-host, Nicey Girl, and our host, Sincere Love the God is trying to post the link. So while he's doing that, I want everyone to like and share this post out. If you will, share and like this post.
Y'all see how teamwork make the dream work
You
around
know?
here? You know what I'm saying? Y'all come on up in here, man. Y'all come on up in here. We got a lot to talk about today, man. We got a lot to talk about today. We got some important FBA business to handle, like we always do at this time. You know, we try to get busy each and every Sunday around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time. Come on here and chop it up with the family, handle FBA business. So appreciate y'all coming in here, rocking with us. Again, like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. What's going on this Sunday? Everything good?
Everything is good over here. It's nice and warm, a lovely day. I don't know if y'all saw. Obviously, y'all know I'm in Cali. So there was the Compton parade yesterday in the city of Compton. Krishan, y'all know Krishan, Blueface, blah blah blah. She was in the she performed She did a performance, I think, after. I don't think she was on a float, but she did some performance at the parade.
Does
And
she
then
rap?
after,
Sing? What?
she's like taking pictures and stuff like that with people, blah, blah, blah. And these two girls, called themselves, I think, trying to clout chase a little bit, one had the camera up kind of like trying to record her. So she kind of just like pushed the camera down, like, don't, all my face. So the girl like slapped her. And this girl, she kind of like, okay, I got you. She asked, like, let's go head up or whatever. They didn't do the head up thing. She took three bitches by herself. And I ain't gonna even lie. I'm from LA. Y'all already know. But she held it down one against three. I was just like the beast because she turns into a beast anyway, based off what we see on TV. But to see this when you're not filming or anything like that, just to like take three, females like that, walked away with not a scratch.
I was gonna say, are you sure they wasn't filming though? This could be like part of a reality show
I
that
don't think
she's
so.
doing or something.
I honestly don't think that she was filming or anything. She was actually solo. She didn't even have security.
But I do believe she get busy because
Yeah.
she's very athletic. I know I seen her on an episode of that American Ninja show
Mm-hmm.
where they
Oh
gotta
yeah,
go
yeah.
through
She
the
won.
obstacles and all. Yeah,
Yeah, she
she won
won.
that shit. She killed that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so she kind of loose up here already. She
Right.
ain't, her elevator don't go all the way up to the top floor.
Right. I
And
don't think any of them do. The whole
then she
family.
got the athleticism to go with it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so yeah, I believe she definitely get busy.
You literally like it was to me. It was kind of embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, it's three of y'all against this one, and she didn't walk away with a scratch.
Right.
That
Right.
was kind of, but yeah, honestly, I didn't like it though. I wanted to say this. I did not like to see it. She did a prayer circle, what I'm saying, with the people out there and really trying to do some cool stuff. And these chicks, wanted to kind of set trip. And it's like, are we not past that already? Like,
Hmm.
y'all grown, she has a kid. We over here set trips. Blueface don't know none of you bitches. It was just so stupid or whatever. And yeah, it was
Man,
ugly. I didn't like it.
man, yeah, yeah.
But it was entertaining. Nonetheless, it was entertaining.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, shout out to the family coming on up in here, man.
What's up,
Jesse
y'all?
Paris in the
Yes.
building. Go
Ish.
gadget go. My brother Ish in the building. Muhammad, what's that? Perham. Muhammad
Muhammad
Perham.
Perham. 5333.
Jim G in the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all come on up in
Some
here,
chick
man.
named Star, my cousin.
Shout out to Star. Shout out to Star. Y'all come
Yeah.
on up in here, man. Like I said, we got some FBA business to handle. I know a lot of the black media already been on the case when it comes to this Frank Zanu character. He's been on the radar recently. His clip when he originally, well, it was a while back when I first seen his clip go viral, where he was talking about Black Americans have no culture, and he was sitting there talking to a Haitian girl,
Right.
and she didn't really know how to defend it. She wasn't really agreeing with him, but she didn't know how to defend it either. You know what I'm saying? And I remember that went viral a while back, but recently some more things have surfaced of him doubling down and tripling down on those statements. He's been making his rounds on different platforms and different podcasts
Who sent them?
with people interviewing him about that statement and that stance. I know our good brother Dave Anderson recently sat down with him, did an interview with him. I got a chance to check that one out earlier today. And I also looked at the interview that he did on Karen Hunter's platform, which, shout out to Karen Hunter. I think she did a pretty good job. When she brought him on her platform. She got straight to the point, straight to the business. And she didn't let him filibuster and just go on and on and on with his nonsense. She brought somebody on who is more qualified than her to speak on the issue. And once she saw that he wasn't going to concede, he was just going to keep doubling down. She just ended it. She was like, "All right,
Yeah.
well, we done here." You know what I'm saying? We just disproved your whole position, and you still going to stand on it. So ain't nothing else to talk about with this guy. Let's end this right here. So I thought
Right.
that was a good way to handle it.
I agree. And I even told Dave, when he was in the front, I was like, I was commenting, in the chat. I was like, this dude is not a great listener. He's not trying to listen either. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt like he was always trying to dominate the conversation, and I remember when Dave was talking to him, he was like, okay, so allow me to respond. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? You're saying what you want to say. Allow me to respond. Every time I say something, you can't keep cutting in.
Well, I don't think I saw that one. I guess that there's two different interviews that they did, because I know they kept mentioning that he was with him, I guess, on Dave's platform.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Mm-hmm.
see that one. I didn't see that
So
one.
yeah, he was just like, let me respond. You keep, talking, but you don't want nobody to respond because you already know I'm gonna give you this work.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
I probably need to see that one, because the one that I saw, like I said, it was on Frank's platform, and I thought our brother Dave, he handled himself well, but like you said, the Frank Zanu died, he kind of dominated the conversation,
Trying
and
to.
he didn't really let our brother talk that much on there. He kept cutting him off,
Mm-hmm.
and Dave
And
was
that's
just
on purpose.
Dave was being very respectful. You know what I'm saying? I kind of saw myself a little bit. Some of the criticism that I get from y'all. Some of the criticism that I get from y'all when y'all say I'm too nice or I'm too laid back, that's kind of what I saw with Dave. I'm like, oh, this what they be talking about with me? Like, okay, because
Yeah.
when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, I would have said this. He should have said that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I feel y'all. I feel y'all. But shout out to our brother Dave. He represented the lineage well.
Absolutely. And I like this fact that he gives scholarship. At least he was attempting to give scholarship. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the thing that I felt like that Zanu dude didn't want. You know what I'm saying? Because it completely, debunked his narratives. Because his is just a narrative and opinion. He's not coming with any facts. And then what he kept doing with Dave was saying, when Dave would bring him historical facts, oh, well, I don't know anything about that. Well, shut your ass up. Because
Right.
if you
Well,
don't know the history, then you don't have the right to come on here and tell Black people, Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, that we don't have a culture, or you know what I'm saying, or anything. You don't get to say that if you don't even know our history.
so do you think that he believes what he's saying, or he's
No.
just
Mm-mm.
what's your opinion on that?
I don't believe that he believes what he's saying, because one thing about it that he made clear is he wasn't going back home. You know what I'm saying? So your ass is trying to stay here where it's comfortable, where foundational Black Americans have paved a nice little cushion for you. You know what I'm saying? But he made it clear that he wasn't going back there
Right, but they associate the comforts of not just
with white
America
people.
but Western society with white people. You know what I'm
I think
saying?
that's a cop out.
And
I
I hear
think
that.
that
I
they
hear that with
know.
his rhetoric, huh?
I think that that's a cop out. I think that they're going to continue to repeat that because they've been told to repeat that bull crap. They understand who made and paved the way for them. That's why they come in and cosplay as us. They try to engulf themselves into our culture, although they have an accent, I'm saying, a different accent, hairline situation, and maybe even the fashion. But a lot of them, try to adapt to the way that we speak, the way that we dress, our vernacular and everything. So, yeah, I don't believe that they don't know.
Okay. Well, I don't know really. I'm not sure if some of them know or don't know, but it's really inconsequential because the effects and the results are still the same. You know what I'm saying? It's still the same. It still has a negative adverse effect on us. If they're allowed to be spokesmen and spokeswomen
Right.
for foundational Black Americans. So either way, whether it's out of ignorance or whether it's intentional, it still must be stopped. So that really don't
Absolutely.
matter.
And
That really don't
Makiba just
matter.
gave a great point. I think Makiba is female. She said that LOL fast he came. No, that's not it. Where's that one? Um, Oh, Black Americans much understand that he hates Black Americans. When he looks at Black American men, he is reminded of his own failure and the failure of his country. And I believe that. That's it right there.
Hmm.
So
And I
they have
see.
to give credit to the white man. He'll never give credit to the Black man that stood on business here fighting, for centuries in this country for the freedoms that we do have, the little bit that we do have.
No doubt, no doubt. And I see we got a Panamanian tether in the chat too. Y'all can let him rock for a minute. Unless he get too crazy. unless he get too crazy, then y'all know what to do. But let him rock. Let him rock for now. You know what I'm saying? But I think the Frank Zanu guy is a particular breed of tether. Because when I really listened to him, because I didn't just go with the sound bites, you know, like I said, I watched the whole Karen Hunter thing, and I watched the whole the second one that he did with Dave Anderson. There's more, so I didn't watch everything, but you know, I watched the complete videos of those two right there, just to really see what he was saying and where he was coming from. And with him, see, because a lot of tethers, they try to make it seem like when they say Black Americans don't got no culture, they're saying we don't have no culture, but they do. But he's saying that all black people are the same, and none of us ain't got no culture. That's what he was trying to say. He's saying there's no difference between Black Americans and continental Africans. We are exactly the same people. None of us ain't really got no culture. And not only that, but we never built anything. We don't know how to operate and control societies, you know, and really we have white people to thank for all of these things. And what would we do without white people? That's the type of tether he is. So he's the reason why, you know, his home country is the way that it is. It's people like this that run and control their home countries and run that shit into the dirt because they're steady running plays for the Western powers who they see as God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he's one of those.
Who sent them? My question always comes back to who sent these fools, because like for me, he kind of just dropped out of nowhere. And now he's viral.
That's
you
true.
know what I'm saying? Like, I question all that when someone just, you know, goes viral, you know, and they're circulating on all these different, you know, platforms. Who sent you with these talking points?
Because I even saw some clips where he was talking with what's not Montel Jordan. What's the Montel, the talk show Montel that had the talk show back in the day?
Montel Williams.
I seen some clips where he was talking to him, and yeah, like you said, all of a sudden he's being platformed on all these different, even though it's being presented as opposition, it's still platforming this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? It's still legitimizing his argument. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when Tariq was talking about Pierce Morgan bringing on Nick Fuentes. You know what I'm saying? It looks like you there to debate him or whatever the case may be, but really you legitimizing his worldview and his arguments, and you allow him a platform to whistleblow and signal boost to his audience. You know what I'm saying?
And they pretend like they don't agree.
Right. So I see a lot of that happening with the Frank Zanu guy as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, who sent you?
All right, so the milkman says he's 60 years old and he doesn't understand the FBA stuff. All he sees is arguments. When I question you guys, I get blocked. Well, don't ask bad faith questions. And another question I have for you, the milkman, where's your family from?
That's the first question. You don't understand the FBA thing. Okay, where's your family from, milkman? But yeah, man. So yeah, I want to start off talking about the Frank Zanu guy and some of his talking points, break some of that stuff down, and then I just want to get into why we delineate. You know what I'm saying? Because I just think Frank Zanu is a prime example of why delineation is important. You know, why this whole FBA thing is popping up the way you see it popping up, milkman. The reason why you keep hearing this conversation, and the reason why people have been delineating and making a distinction between foundational Black Americans and other Blacks from the diaspora. This guy, Frank Zanu, is a prime example of that. And so, milkman, if you don't have a problem with the things that Frank Zanu is saying, again, we kind of looking at you funny style. Where's your family from?
Where's your family from?
You know what I mean? And that's another thing too, because you notice all of the people that got smoked for us, you know, the last couple of weeks we've been getting inundated with bogus ass attacks from a lot of Baltimore people.
The op capital.
You know what I'm saying? I seen a live the other night with Blockhead Bay. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Turtle Hat
He
Bay.
Turtlehead Bay. He did like a 3-hour broadcast with what's his name? Hotep Drewski.
The light skin Roland Martin.
They did like a 3-hour joint just talking about me and Dwan B.
That's
You
crazy.
know what I'm saying? And they got multiple videos going up with this stuff, you know what I mean? And so, you know, we've been seeing that a lot lately, but you notice that these people, they don't have nothing to say about the Frank Zanus.
Oh no.
They don't make no videos talking about this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, this is somebody who's super viral. You know what I'm saying? His mic is loud. His mic is on right now.
Right.
And he's saying all of the things that we say is the reason for delineation. And y'all don't got no smoke for that. But y'all got an issue with us because, you know, we just want to embrace our own culture.
That we created.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? The language that we created, Ebonics. You know what I'm saying?
All that.
You know, come on now. All this stuff, the tut, all these things that we created from nothing.
Exactly, man. Exactly. And so I think I'm gonna start off with this this piece from Karen Hunter, from the Karen Hunter show, and fair use, by the way. I ain't gonna play too much of it, but like I said, I thought she did a good job, you know, for the most part. And she brought this guy on.
I've seen him before. I feel
let me
like
get us back up here.
bottom.
Yeah, his name is Daniel Black, and he's a professor somewhere. He teaches. He teaches Black history or African history or something like that. I forgot exactly what his credentials are. I'm not really familiar with him like that. But she brought him on here because she said, you know, she's not really qualified to speak on the history as much, but she knows what Frank is espousing was nonsense. So she brought somebody that she felt was more qualified, you know what I'm saying, to see. I guess her goal was to try to change his mind, which, again, that's never the goal with us. You know what I'm saying? When y'all see us, you know, maybe sparring with some of these dudes, you know, we might bring some of the ops on here and we go back and forth with them or whatever case may be. Our goal is never to try to change their mind because, first of all, we understand that from the jump, many of them are arguing in bad faith anyway. You know what I'm saying? Many of them are clout chasing and don't even believe the shit that's coming out their own mouth anyway.
And jealous.
You know what I mean? But it seems like her goal was to see if she could change his mind and get him to concede that he was wrong, which he wasn't going to do. And when she realized he wasn't going to do that, she basically got him up out of there, which was cool. You know what I'm saying? So let me play a little bit of this. Did I do that right? Okay, yeah, we up here.
Right? I think what could really help this dialogue is that there's a premise here that I think is problematic, but I don't think it's yours, Mr. Frank. I think it's what people have taught in the world. And most of us have taken it because it's just what historians have said. And that premise is this. When Africans were enslaved in Africa and scattered around the world, everything, all their culture, I think you were saying this a minute ago, was stripped from them. That's the error.
And so, yeah, I definitely want to focus a little bit on that right there. I like the way that he approached this. You know what I'm saying? I like the way that he approached this because he wasn't coming from a combative standpoint and he didn't make it personal to Frank Zanu. He said there's a misconception about the history and how things went overall. Right. You know what I'm saying? The way that history has been taught has been wrong. So possibly, you know, what you're saying comes from, you know, that misconception, that miseducation that people have been given throughout time. You know, so I like the way he approached that. But the thing that he brought up was about our history not being completely erased from us through slavery and how we still retained some of our African culture with us. But what they failed to mention when they talk about this, because Dr. Ma'at also brought this up when we was having our little roundtable discussion, and they played a clip of me, which I kind of misstated what I was trying to say in the clip. You know what I'm saying? I made it more of a blanket statement of, you know, our history got completely erased from us, which wasn't exactly what I was trying to say. So it was a little misstatement on my end, which I never got to clear up. They didn't give me a chance to clear it up when we were on the panel, but she brought that up also to try to explain to me of how some of the history was still retained. But whenever they bring it up, they always act like it's only the African history that was retained, but there was also indigenous history that was retained as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And the fact that we created a new culture, a new, history, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So that can't be erased either. Every time, we talk to a lot of these people, they want us to only go back in ancient times. And that's where I think things get cloudy too, because they only want us to focus on ancient history.
True. We do hear that a lot. But credit to this brother and to Dr. Ma'at. They both did acknowledge that, we took what we had and we created something new here on this soil. They did acknowledge that part of it. But the part that they both ignored was the indigenous part. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're going to tell the history, we got to tell it holistically.
Right.
So let me cook a little bit more right here.
That's the error in this whole thing. Because a process cannot strip culture, the totality of culture, from a people. Culture sometimes is in the artifacts of what people have, but culture is also in the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere a person goes, their culture goes with them. Pieces of that culture in the dance, it's in the body, in the language. We brought African languages to America because we spoke African languages in Africa. We were certainly denied speaking those languages after a while once we were enslaved. But the languages and the influences of those languages are still in our Black English tongues right now.
Facts, as well as the indigenous languages that we spoke also. That influences the tongue that we speak now as well. All of it. It's a hybrid of all of that. The same way that we are a genetic hybrid of many different African tribes, indigenous tribes, European admixture and all of that, it's a hybrid. You know what I mean? That's the reason why our culture is unique. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool right there. That's enough of that right there. Y'all got the gist of what he was saying as far as that. But I do want to play the clip from when Dr. Ma'at was explaining the same thing. Let me see if I could grab that real quick. But did you want to say anything about that clip we just played?
No, because he was pretty much on point, like I said previously, we created a whole new, culture. When you have an ethnogenesis, that's what all of that embodies.
Right. That's this ad right here. Okay, yeah, we right here. Right here. Let me share this with y'all now. I think this is the part right here. All right, so this is when Dr. Ma'at was basically trying to explain to me part of what the professor was saying on that clip that we just played.
Yeah. Let me. I do want to respond, brothers. I do want to respond to the clip. I do want to respond to the clip. See now, then when I start muting, why should you mute me out? Listen to what I'm saying, y'all. First of all, I'm laughing at Brother DeWalt.
Hold on, let me fast forward a little bit. What was it? Should be here. Should be here somewhere. It's coming up.
When you said the slate was wiped clean, brother, that you don't wipe. When people come from cultures and they go somewhere, you don't wipe the slate clean. You carry your culture with you. You carry your language with you.
Facts.
You carry your ways of living with you. So when you said they just wiped the slate clean as if we just was, you would actually agree there was this guy who went viral because he misrepresented the work of Dr. Joy DeGruy. And he said,
and she might even be talking about Frank Zanu right here. I'm not sure if that's who she's referencing when she said this guy went viral, that I would agree with. But no, I certainly wouldn't agree with Frank Zanu if that's who she's talking about. But let me let her finish.
That black Americans, he was talking about us. He said, we're like Frankensteins. He said, white people put us together because when we got over here, we ain't have no culture. We were totally severed from Africa. That's not true, brother. That's not the way culture works. If I take you, Sincereluvdagod, and I drop you off in Australia right now, right? You're going to take with you your identity, and your language, and you're going to do the best you can to survive in your new environment. And that is what happened to our African ancestors who did come over. It was no slate that was white clean, brother.
Right. All right, cool. So she was basically trying to explain to me what the professor was trying to say right there. And the thing that I didn't get a chance to address when we was on the panel that I wanted to say was the example that she gave. The example that she gave, it was kind of a weak example. If we take you, Sincereluvdagod, and drop you off in Australia, you don't just lose your culture. But that's not exactly what happened to us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there were people that were brought here and dropped off, and those people still had their culture with them. But when you go 150 years down the line, because those people that were brought here to these shores, let's just say it was a woman who was pregnant with child. The minute that she had that child was snatched from her, separated from her, sold off down the river somewhere else. And then you go, even 50 years down the line, 100 years down the line, 150 years down the line, where you got this happening the whole time over time, not to mention the breeding farms and all that stuff that took place here. You have people who were born here that weren't brought from somewhere else. They were born into this system, born into this slave system, born into the indoctrination. And so their mother tongue wasn't able to be passed down to them because they were snatched from their mother immediately upon birth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And again, when you go a couple generations down the line, not just their mother, but their mother's mother and their mother's mother before that was already separated from that person who was dropped off here that came from somewhere else that still had their language and some of the culture intact. So how does this person who's born 3-4 generations down the line after that still maintain that culture? They don't. Yes, what the brother was explaining, I feel like was on point. There's certain things that's going to be encoded in the DNA and the way that we dance and the way that we play the drum and our body language and all that, because we've been here for millions of years. Right. So certain stuff is already embedded and coded into the DNA structure of who we are. Those things are going to be retained, absolutely. But by the time you get to that 3rd, 4th generation, there's brand new customs. There's a whole new way of life that's put in place in order to survive this condition that we're in. Separated from the African culture, African way of life, and the indigenous culture and the indigenous way of life that we were living prior to being enslaved.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I wanted to say that I never got really a chance to say on there. But also, he mentioned the professor that was speaking on there. He mentioned the language thing. And I wanted to get into that because the Frank Zanu guy, that's one thing that he likes to say. I see on a lot of the platforms, whenever this comes up, that's the first thing he says. That's like the first thing he says. In order to have culture, you got to have a language. And Black Americans don't have their own language. Therefore, we have no culture.
They say that not just with our language. They say that we don't have a flag. You know what I'm saying? Everything that it pertains to us, we don't have a culture because they have it and we don't. When we have a flag, we have the Black Heritage flag, we have the FBA flag, and we definitely have languages. Even though it's English, it's still, we remixed our own.
Exactly. And I don't see why that's overlooked, because they don't overlook Caribbean speaking patois, which is still English, just in their own way, or French Creole that the Haitians speak, which is still French, but they speak it in their own way based on the African retention. You know what I'm saying? They make it work for them.
Even Spanish.
You know what I'm saying?
Even Spanish, depending on what part of Spain, I guess, the people are from. Mexicans speak a different type of Spanish than a Guatemalan, or an El Salvadorian. Some of the words are different.
Exactly. Spanish is a great example, actually, because this Frank Zanu and his ilk, they'll use Spanish people as an example. You know, they compare us to like Chinese, Japanese, and they'll even say Mexican or Hispanic, you know, saying that they have a language and we don't. But they started speaking Spanish the same way we started speaking
Right.
English. You know what I'm saying? That's not their indigenous language. You know what I mean?
There's always this
And
movement of the
so,
goalpost when it comes to us.
right. And so when he talks about the language thing, I'm just going to read the basic definition of language. What is language? Language is the principal method of human communication consisting of words used in structured and conventional way and conveyed by speech, writing, or gesture, which the professor also did a good job of explaining. It's not just the words that you use, it's also the gestures and the mannerisms and all of that that communicate. Remember, communication is like 90% unspoken.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so we absolutely have our own unique way of communicating. And not only do we have a unique way of communicating, it's the most copied way of communicating on the planet.
Hello. Even body has a language. That's why they call it body language. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Right.
your energy or your body language told me you wanted to fight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like body language, I don't have to say anything, but somebody may know I'm flirting. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, Zanu, man, he's like a turtle too, by the way, by the head.
And so language is absolutely a pillar of culture. You know, he's right about that. But where he fumbles is pretending that language only counts if it looks like European style, you know, national tongue with a flag and academics attached to it. You know what I'm saying? But foundational Black Americans, we didn't lose language. We transformed one under captivity.
Now, what did y'all do under captivity? Because colonization is slavery. So what did y'all do and create under captivity? We'll wait.
Right. And also many of the languages that they speak on the continent have outside influence as well. Outside influences as well. They have traces of Arabic in many of their languages, their so-called indigenous languages. They have a lot of Arabic trace in there. They have a lot of people who mix their language with English and French, and it's called pidgin. You know what I'm saying? And that's their own unique way of speaking and communicating amongst each other and all of that. That's not discounted as not having a language. That's looked at as a unique part of their culture. No different than what we do with what they call Ebonics or AAVE or whatever, you know, Black English, whatever they want to call it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the examples matter because there's this one guy, I don't know his name, but there's a white guy who's a linguist on YouTube who talks about our language in some of his videos. And he really breaks down how the way Black people speak English is really more complex than, you know, the way English is taught in schools and in academia and all of that. Like the way we speak English, what we did to the language is even more complex than the language was intended to be, because English is really a dead language. When you talk about English, you know, that's an amalgamation of like Latin and Greek and, you know what I'm saying? All these other, a little bit of Spanish, all these other different languages that came before it. It's amalgamation of that. It's a bastard language that really is flat and dead. And so what we did was breathe life into it. You know what I'm saying? We gave the language some type of life form. We animated the language. That's the reason why people emulate. They don't just emulate it, by the way, when they're heavily when they're speaking English, though. Even the way that Spanish people speak Spanish, they try to do it the way we speak English. A lot of them. You know what I'm saying?
The accent, kind of.
Right. The slang. You know what I'm saying? They try to flip their own languages into slang the way that we do it. We do it in English. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about Spanglish and all of that stuff, you know what I mean? That's them trying to copy us in their own language.
We're the most hated yet duplicated.
Facts. Facts. Right. Right. And so you know, that's our cultural, our culture surviving through the pressure that we've been under, you know, living in the belly of the beast. You know what I mean? And like I said, the entire world copies it. Hip hop slang, it goes global before the textbooks can even catch up. You know, corporate marketing, they steal our cadences, our slang, all of those things. You know what I'm saying?
Remember, they created the
Whether
Ebonics dictionary to basically teach
right,
white people what it is that we're saying, which I didn't like, by the way. But yeah, everything we do and create, they study, to try and master what we're doing. They want to know what we're going on. Now, I think that this name on here, Rael, Rael, said, if we don't have a culture, ask him, why did Africans send students to Tuskegee during Booker T. Washington's time? Learning from cultureless people is nasty work. And I 1000% agree. And I was actually looking that up while I was sitting here, and it says several reasons why they were sent here. One was industrial and vocational education. We're the builders.
facts,
We're the builders. You know what I'm saying? And we've shown
facts.
that with you, Tulsa, all the communities. Let's just be
Mm-hmm.
very, very clear. Lake Lanier, the area, where Lake Lanier is, where there's now Central Park. All these are places that Black people built up on our own with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
these people came here, and this was during a period from the period of 1890 through 1906. They came to
Right,
learn from foundational Black Americans and get educated by foundational Black Americans.
right. We built hundreds of communities like Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? We built multiple institutions like Tuskegee. You know what I'm saying? And again, we did that being we 13-14% of the population now. I think we was less than that at the time. You know what I'm saying? We did that being, a minority population where you guys are the majority in your homeland. Really, there's nobody else there but you, and you don't have one of those. You don't have one example of that. You know what I'm saying? Where people from all over the world can come to get enlightened and to get cultured and to get opportunities and, so on and so forth. You don't have one of those.
And it says also around 1901 and 1902, Tuskegee educators helped establish schools in the modern Togo and Liberia. These schools explicitly followed the Tuskegee model. Y'all learning
Right.
from cultureless people? I'm just saying.
Right. I understand, man. Cultures without language don't get copied. They just
Right.
disappear. You know what I'm saying? People don't have a culture. They don't get emulated. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta bury the idea that FBA, don't have culture or that we don't have our own linguistic expression. You know what I'm saying? You gotta bring up, things like Tut language.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which was definitely an innovation that our people had to do in order to survive, to be able to communicate clandestinely. I don't know if clandestinely is a word, but we're gonna use that one today.
Ebonics.
You know what I mean?
Ebonics.
Right. The way the New Orleans people have their own type of Creole, the way that they speak, or the Gullah Geechee
Oh yeah.
people,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? With their distinct tongue as well. That's all FBA shit. You know what I'm saying?
And you're not about to do I'm a tether and I say so on us. We're not gonna do that.
Right.
I mean, and also I just want to put on here mainly the people from Africa that mainly came here to study were West Africans, specifically from the Gold Coast, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Nigeria. The main folks who swear we don't have a culture, the Nigerians.
East Africans
Yeah.
too, because Barack Obama's daddy got his
Right.
ass over here around us too, and he's from Kenya.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't the only one. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the mistake that they make is assuming because when they say that, let's just assume there's good faith in the argument, right? When people say it, we know it's not, but let's just assume that somebody's really genuinely believes what they're saying when they say, Black Americans don't have no culture. What they're trying to say is because we lost so much of the culture that we had prior to slavery, that means now we have no
Right.
culture at all. But the mistake there is assuming that culture is supposed to remain unchanged in order to be valid. But culture is not like a museum artifact. It's a living system. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to change, evolve, and morph, based on the circumstances that the people find themselves in. Like Dewan did a good job of explaining it when we was on that panel. He's like, a people that live in the desert are not going to have the same culture as the people who live, by the water. It's going to be a different culture. You know what I'm saying? And if you switch them around, each one is going to have to adapt to the new environment and change the way that they do things. You know what I mean? So yeah, man.
I mean,
Did they say?
Go
ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was reading.
Go ahead. You can read it.
Okay, so I lost it because. Okay, so Derek, I think it is. I lost it. Derek, Falkos, I guess I'm hope I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, I'm sorry. It says during slavery we were 25% of the population, and that's why I refuse to believe that we're less now.
Okay, the percentage wise, I understand that there were smaller raw numbers. That's why I guess that's what I was trying to say. There were smaller raw numbers. There wasn't 40, 50 million of us at the time. But yeah, it probably was a higher percentage because there was nobody else here. There wasn't a bunch of other immigrants over here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the percentage wise, it was probably higher. But yeah, thank you for that correction. But what they calling no culture is avoiding the real uncomfortable truth that FBA culture is so influential that people stop recognizing it as a culture. They start treating it just like air. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just so prevalent. You know what I'm saying? The thing that we do just becomes so mainstream and so normalized that people disassociate it with us, the people that it came from. You know what I'm saying? I often bring up the line from Big Daddy Kane on Ain't No Half Stepping. When he said the rhyme keep coming out sounding so similar, it's quite confusing for you to remember the originator. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about biters, niggas biting your style and all that shit. It's the same thing.
And speaking of what you just said, just speaking of what you just said, now white people will say he's copying me. Foundational Black Americans are gonna say they biting. He biting my style.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a whole new language. That's part of our culture. We rename things. You know what I'm saying? We have another way of naming it. We don't follow the Webster's dictionary all the time.
Right. We repurpose the whole idea of what a word is supposed to mean and how it's supposed to be used and the context and the past tense and the present tense and all. We change all that shit around. And the thing about it is, we know what we mean.
No,
we're not confused.
Listen, when I used to work for another company, this is like 12 years ago. And this Hispanic guy that I used to work with, I'm on the phone, I'm saying, making a personal call basically. And I was like, well, I'm finna go right now. And once he was like, what's finna? What's finna? Like, and even then I was just like, I was just like, it's just Black language. You know what I'm saying? That's just how we talk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why are y'all always in our business, first of all? But I think am I frozen?
No, you good. You went out for a hot second, but you came right back. It
looks frozen on my end. What happened?
Let me see. Nah, you good money.
I think I'm frozen.
I can still hear you. And I can still see you.
Y'all can see me fine?
I can see you and I can hear you.
I can't even hear. I can hear. There we go. I couldn't hear anything, and I was just frozen. Sorry.
Okay, you was good on my end. I don't know, but how about now?
I'm
you good?
Now. I can hear you and see you.
Yeah, we heard you though. You made an excellent point. It's like when we say something like, he been new.
Right.
That been, that's not just random. It's a habitual past marker, and we understand it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be translated. You know what I'm saying? When we say, she's steady working.
Right.
That's a continuous aspect. You know what I'm saying? She's steady working. We understand what we mean. Other people might be confused. You know what I'm saying?
Like when I say both of them.
I mean, that's just how we do.
When I say both of them, you know what I'm talking about. Somebody else may not get it, but both of them.
Right. We, that's just us, man. That's the way, like I said, we breathe life into this language. We give it curves,
seasoning.
And we got over 200 people in the chat right now. Let's get those likes up. Make sure y'all hit the like button, family.
I don't think we got
sure y'all hit the like button
on here. Let me see. What them likes.
Share this out.
Let's even talk about. He said that. I know there was a clip that went around when he was talking about we haven't created anything. We haven't built nothing. Everything that we have basically, came from, white people. We haven't built or created anything. And I thought that that was one, wild to say, disrespectful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, during slavery, 17 to the 1800s, we had the cotton gin. You know, cotton and gin, basically, is still relevant today. Rice cultivation, like, come
Right.
on now. Ship propellers. This is in 1858. We didn't create anything, sir. Come on now.
Right.
We are the innovators of everything. Hence why I think this is why they chose, to go to enslave us, because we've been creating things since we've been here. Whether you came from Africa or you were already here, the indigenous people were creating here as well.
Right. And that's a good point too, because he even says something like that. I think it was when he was on the thing with Dave Anderson. He says something like, basically saying they only needed our hands. You know what I'm saying? He said, you think when they brought people over here that they brought like architects and engineers and
Yes.
stuff over here? Like,
Yes.
yes. Yeah, they knew exactly who they was getting.
First of all, they couldn't even survive on their own. What did they ever build
Right.
outside of having, enslaved labor? They were busy in certain areas picking potatoes out each other's asses. They didn't know how to bathe. They didn't know anything about soap, shampoo, or anything else. Come on now. They were eating each other.
Right. Right. And then you talk about people like what's his name? George Washington Carver. You know what I'm saying? Who created a whole industry, basically, a whole separate category of science. I forgot what it's called, but when he had to save the soil over here because they was just planting the same crop over and over again, destroying the soil, when he told them how to, cultivate the soil and bring the soil back to life and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Using things like the peanut and the soybean and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like that was in the DNA. That's the type of shit that was retained in the DNA because we ancient people and we have a relationship with nature that other people don't have. Those are the type of things that were retained through the DNA. When you want to talk about cultural retention, you know what I'm saying? That type of genius. It wasn't learned here. You know what I mean?
So
We didn't go to some good old white school when they taught us those things. No, because they ain't even know no damn
now
better.
some nut in here just asked why FBAs never invented their own country. We in our country, fool. We're the only non-immigrants. Next question.
Where's your family? Where's your family
Right.
from, by the way, Tether? Where's your family from, by the way? You know what I'm saying? Because all 54 of them African countries was created by some Europeans
and still run by them today.
and
and
a lot
you
of y'all
guys are
flags and all of that.
99% of the population.
Yeah. What we talking about? What the hell is we talking about? But yeah, man, like I said, man, our culture is so overly consumed. It's like air, man. You know what I mean? It's just there. So people don't even give us the credit for it. And that's part of why we delineate.
Absolutely. Just like hip hop.
That's part of why it's very important that we delineate, because now we are pointing these things out and we are taking credit for the things that belong to us. Good, bad, or ugly.
Right.
Good, bad, or ugly. We gonna take credit for the things that we created and the things that we influenced. You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, I want to go through the archives on my Instagram page.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just have a saved section. The name of the section is called FBA versus Tethers. And I just started, saving certain content that I see on Instagram throughout the years that pertain to this delineation conversation and why we delineate. And so we're going to go through that here with y'all. We're going to go through some of the videos. We're not going to be able to get through them all because there's a ton of them.
That's
like
crazy.
I said, I've been just saving them for years. We're not going to get through them all, but we're just going to randomly, based on the thumbnail or whatever, pick through some of them and then we'll just react to what we see. You know, some of it might pertain to the things that we touched on so far with this Frank Zanu thing. Some of it might not. It might be coming from a whole different angle. But we're just going to go through them just to put emphasis on why delineation is important.
Really quick, the person who said that, he says this is his words, he's a Haitian tether. So I want to say this: just because you're Haitian does not mean that you're a tether, but you're giving tether vibes for sure. You just may be a tether, you know, but being Haitian alone does not make you a tether.
Right. Okay. All right, let's go through some of these. Let's go through some of these videos in the archives, just to give some examples of why we delineate, family. Hold on now. Why is it not showing? Hold on. I think I did this wrong.
Is this in your favorites?
Let me undo this. It's I don't know if you can see it on your end. I think only I can see it. Let me separate this though. Let me close this. I got way too many tabs open. Can y'all see what's on the screen? Okay. So these are some of the videos. I want to go all the way to the bottom. What was this? I don't even know what they are. I don't even know what they are. This was the very first one that I saved. Let's see what this is. It looks like that that Conscious Lee nigga is on here. Ain't that him?
I can't see it yet until you click on it.
Hold on, and some of it might have music, so I might not be able to play it. So let me see what this is.
Nick, I am very well aware that the Black diaspora war goes both ways. Everyone is insulting each other. But today, we'll be focusing on this specific point, nothing else, okay? I would like to preface that I am Caribbean, Haitian specifically.
Obviously.
Now let's start. It's funny to me when I see Africans and Caribbeans mock African Americans. I laugh even more because while insulting African Americans, they're using AAVE.
So this is one of the people that's not a tether. You know, she's telling the truth, even though it don't go both ways. Let's be clear about that. You know what I'm saying? But if you know, she looks like a younger person. If you're being introduced to this by online discourse, that might be your perception of it. So I can give a little grace for that. You know what I'm saying? If you come online and you just see Black Americans and Africans and Caribbeans go back and forth, that could be your perception of it. You know what I'm saying? That it goes both ways. But no, it don't go both ways. When you see Black Americans going in, you see us responding to the bullshit that's been going on for decades. You know what I'm saying? So let's be clear about that. But yeah, she mentioned the language
that we don't have.
Right. She's saying it's ironic that y'all talking about these people while you're copying them at the same time. You know, y'all over here trying to throw shade at the same people that you're trying to be like.
African American vernacular English. Some of y'all who have never even stepped foot on this land using AAVE like you've been living in the hood, in the South, and the suburbs your whole life. Now,
and so she calling out the tellers that's still in their homeland talking shit. Y'all ain't even over here. You know what I mean? Like I said, the reach is global. The influence is global.
Wait, speaking of that same, you know, I'm going to call him a tether now because he said in the comments, the same Haitians, he says basically that Haitians helped us. Wait, where is the Haitians don't even run? Wait, I lost the dang on comment, but he basically trying to take credit, basically saying if we don't get help from the Haitians, we lost.
That's the Amanda Seals logic.
Yeah, y'all getting shipped out right now.
That's the Amanda Seals logic. Yeah, people done been already debunked that. We ain't got to address that.
Not only that, you tell African Americans that they don't have culture, that they're watered down, that they are whitewashed and Americanized, but indulge in the music genres they've invented, dress in the streetwear, listen to the rap, listen to the R&B, the hip-hop, the jazz, the blues, mocking the people but indulging in the shit that they invented.
So yeah, you know, she being a little bit performative, but she telling the truth. This is why we delineate. Y'all want some more examples?
Let's go.
I want to know, like, what does the label like, what does the Black label mean to you? And why did you feel like there was a differentiation between?
So the headline on here is, here's why Pan-Africanism doesn't work. And these are two African women talking here. And I think one of them is from Kenya. And the sister's asking her, you know, what does the label Black mean to you? Because we often tell you that many of these people don't identify as Black. And y'all say we crazy when we say that. Not only do many of them not identify as Black, many of them don't identify as African.
No.
So how are we going to do Pan-Africanism? You know what I'm saying? But let her cook. Don't let me lie to y'all.
African, the tribal ethnicity and the label Black.
All right. So it's a very loaded question, and I'm thinking of how I can answer it with simplicity. I look at myself as I'm from Zimbabwe. I was born in Zimbabwe, and
Zimbabwe, not Kenya. My bad.
Only came to Canada when I was 20, almost 21. So before coming to Canada, I was Shayla. I was from Zimbabwe. I was from the Ndebele tribe. That was my language. And there was never any point that race was part of my narrative or part of my identity, or that I actually had to call myself Black. So when I came to Canada, obviously that changed right away. And this Black girl, I was in a social class and I'm described that way. And it felt very imposed, and I did not identify with that. I was just me from Zimbabwe. Even the whole African, I was not African, I was Zimbabwean.
Right.
Kind of reminds me of that Tyler, I think it is, that girl Tyler from South Africa who identifies as colored.
Right.
Not Black.
How we gonna do Pan-Africanism with that? Right. How we gonna be Pan-African if they're not even African? I'm just Zayla, I'm Zimbabwean from the Ndele tribe. So that means I don't got nothing in common with the person from South Africa or the person from Nigeria or the person from any other parts of the continent. She doesn't have nothing in common with them because she's just she's from the Mbele tribe. She's Zimbabwean. That's her identity.
That's fine.
Nothing wrong. I'm not even saying something's wrong with it.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I agree with the Frank Zanu guy about, because he's honest about how Pan-Africanism could never work in Africa.
Right. He did say that.
You know what I'm saying? Because he talks about the tribalism and all of the ethnic differences. You know what I'm saying? Where people in one country can't even get it together based on the many tribes that are in that country. How are you going to get the whole continent on the same page? He says it's a pipe dream. I kind of agree with him there. But that's also one of the major differences between foundational Black Americans and continental Africans. We're not tribal like that. We see ourselves as one group. And for the longest, we've seen all Black people as one group.
Right.
Until now. So that's one of the major differences, because that was one of his major things, is trying to say that there's no difference between foundational Black Americans and Africans. We're all the same. And he brings up all these different examples of the things that we have similar to each other. I'm not saying there's no similarities, but there are some
skin color, what?
Distinct differences.
Skin color, what? And you're gonna stop lying up in the chat, because foundational Black Americans did not bully Haitians. We clowned y'all about y'all ashy feet and wearing them Jesus sandals and church pants to school. That's all we did. That's not bullying. We was bagging. That's part of our FBA culture too. We talk about each other, so don't play. You was ashy. Put some lotion on.
And when it comes to that, me being from New York, where we got a lot of Caribbeans, a lot of Africans, a lot of just immigrants, period. A lot of times the Haitians was getting bullied by Jamaicans. They was getting bullied by Trinidadians, Panamanians, other Caribbeans and South Americans and other Black people from these other places. They looked down on Haitians. We didn't know much about Haitians. When I was growing up, you know, we didn't have too much contact with Haitians like that, the majority of the Caribbeans that we had contact with would be Jamaicans.
Right.
And so when other Caribbean groups started showing up in larger numbers, we thought everybody was Jamaican at first. We didn't even know the difference. It took a while for us to be able to distinguish between a Trinidadian accent and a Jamaican accent. You know what I'm saying? Many of us. You know,
if you just heard an accent.
Right. And so we assumed everybody was Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? And when we did started to recognize the different speech patterns and be able to pick up on the different accents and all that, we would still make mistakes. I remember making certain mistakes where I might mistake a Jamaican person for a Haitian. They would get highly offended and upset.
Yes.
Highly offended and upset. They look down on Haitians. Black Americans, we didn't really know much about Haitian history, Haitian culture, or anything like that to have any negative views about them like that at all. You know what I'm saying? If you was dressed funny, you was getting roasted because you was dressed funny, not because you was Haitian. You know what I'm saying? If you smelt a little musty, you was getting roasted for being musty, not for being Haitian.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But for other Caribbeans, they was on your ass because you was Haitian.
Right. And you was musty.
That's the difference.
Yeah, because your ass, because you know, and I think a lot of it was probably because, you know, you over here musty, you ashy, and they mistaking you for us. You know what I'm saying? They were delineating. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And they wasn't just roasting.
Right.
Y'all was getting jumped on and beat up and all of that shit by Jamaicans and shit. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. And so look, I recognize some of these thumbnails, and so I do want to play some of our good diasporan brothers and sisters who told the truth. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just bring up all the tethers and just make it, because there's enough they like to say, oh, y'all make blanket statements and everybody's a tether and da 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 da. No, everybody's not a tether. We got people who resist the bullshit and tell the truth. They tell on their parents and shit. Like this sister right here. Tale of the tethers.
Around Black people, Africans have some type.
Oh shit! It got too much music in the background.
That one is noisy, kind of.
And it's crazy because the song that's playing in the background is called "Stay Away from the Akata," because that's what she's explaining in the video. Since I can't play it, she's explaining in the video how her parents, when she was raised, her parents was telling her to stay away from the Akata. You know what I'm saying? And now as she got older, she's pushing back against that. Like, yo, mom, why y'all saying that about these people? Like, you know what I'm saying? Black Americans is cool. They the only ones that actually, you know, treat me good around here. White people ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Why you got me kissing white ass and shitting on the Black Americans? The Black Americans is the coolest people out here. That's basically what she was saying in this video. But I can't play it because of the music. So let's pick a different one. Can you see the thumbnails or it's too small?
I can, yeah. I mean, I can see him. Yeah, I can see him.
All right.
I see the girl with the afro, with the
I want you to pick the next one. Tell me which one you want me to pull up.
Those ones right there to the left. Those Haitian girls who said, yeah.
Speaking of Haiti, y'all ready for this? Fair use, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't do Americans. I need somebody with culture. I'm sorry.
Black Americans got culture. Americans got culture.
And shout out these brothers. I forgot the name of their podcast, but they be holding it down. They be representing for the lineage. Shout out to them brothers. I forgot the name of their joint. If anybody know the name of their joint, put it in the chat.
You're rolling.
I didn't know anybody was culture.
Americans don't have culture.
I got culture.
We got the culture. We are the culture.
Who the culture?
We are the culture. Globally, they know about Black Americans.
No, hold on.
Globally, they know about Black Americans.
And so just like the girl was saying in the last video, y'all say these things while using Black American slang and vernacular and all of that.
You dress like a foundational Black American. I think she got on a good wig from what I can tell.
Right.
You know,
right.
so
whole
probably
style.
an FBA woman did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, girl.
Her whole style, her whole aesthetic is copying FBA sister.
Yeah, exactly.
But you got all this smoke.
But you gotta remember 1804, baby. I'm the one that wanted my
American. We're not gonna use the word American.
Yeah, Black American.
I ain't gonna hold you.
We are the
culture.
Listen, 1804. I'm the reason why you have your independence.
So there she go with that bullshit. Yo, I'm the 1804. I'm the reason why y'all have y'all independence. No, y'all not. Who told y'all that lie?
Who told you that, girl?
Who told y'all that lie?
And where is that now in Haiti? If that's the case, y'all didn't keep it going.
Right. And my brother, shout out to Chase McGee. Chase McGee got a video I think this is the actual video right here that he did a response to. He did a reaction to this video, breaking the whole shit down with scholarship and all that. So y'all make sure y'all check out his page, Foundational Black Americans, on YouTube, and watch that video where he gives you the scholarship on why what she's saying is complete bullshit. We ain't got time to go through that right now.
And the thing about it is, before we end that one, it was a foundational Black American, Tariq Nasheed, who did a movie about your history. Y'all didn't.
Right.
That's the part I hate about
Haitians was the first
people,
free independent country, first Black free independent.
That ain't got nothing to do with. That don't got nothing to do with America.
That's nice. I'm just letting you know the reason why y'all have y'all independence.
Y'all coming over here because of us, because of the hard work that Black Americans do.
You know, Haiti is like in debt for 1 trillion years because
you know why? Because the French owe us how much?
So y'all got your independence for what?
What?
Wait, when you say Haiti's the reason Americans got their independence, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, what do you mean by that? Right, like everybody's confused.
Do with that?
Everybody's confused, and a lot of y'all say that dumb shit. Where do y'all get that from? Where they teaching this at?
They're not. But if you
here goes some.
If you tell a lie long enough, they feel like it's believable. If you tell the lie long enough, people will start to believe it.
I guess that's the strategy. But let's keep it Haiti for a minute, since we got a Haitian tether in the chat. Let's keep it Haiti for a minute. This is why we delineate, family. Exhibit C.
From fucking, you feel me, from Haiti with nothing and really created something, bro. Came, bought a house, started a family. You feel me? My dad owned multiple fucking properties of real estate. You feel me? My mom worked her fucking ass off.
You feel me? You feel me?
Every fucking morning on the dot up every morning. Never, no excuses, fam. She get the fuck up and get the shit and do what she have to do. But every time I hear these fucking Americans, all they do is fucking make excuses, fam. They always find excuses.
Yeah. Oh, I don't.
Bro, my parents came here at 30 years old.
That's why I don't.
When you think about it, put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine going to another country at 30 years old.
They always try to paint fleeing as some type of heroic act. Y'all make it seem like fleeing took so much courage and what?
And why didn't they do that at home? That's the flex. The flex is doing that in your homeland, not coming over to someone else's homeland, shitting on the people in the homeland, and then talking about all the things that you did. You did that because all the grants that are given and provided to you because you're an immigrant in our homeland.
Yeah, we paved the way for your punk ass parents. You know what I'm saying? And then what do we get in return? We get shit like this.
That's not this.
So basically, you telling me you stealing from the airport?
I'm not stealing. I'm buying paint. That's what I told you. What do you
know what I'm saying? Yeah. Black folks always stealing something.
I'm not black folks. I'm African.
That's the same thing. You black.
Not the same thing. We're different than you guys.
Look at your hand.
No, we're different than you guys from here.
How you different from me?
Oh yeah, we different.
How?
We don't do the same thing.
What you mean? So you better?
Right.
I'm not saying we better, but we do different stuff.
Like what?
What you said?
You right. We don't flee, and we don't do all that diploma and degree scamming and all that stuff. We don't do that.
Right. We paved the way, and this is what we get.
Give me an example.
We do different stuff. We African, we do different stuff.
Give me an example. Listen. Like y'all eat rabbits and we eat pigs.
Yeah, hold on. When Obama win, I see the black folks started this. You know what I told them? I said, no, it's not your win. It's African who win. Believe me. And you better.
Oh, so Obama, you celebrated too?
Of course, Obama is African.
So why they can't celebrate?
This Jesse Jackson win? He never gonna be able to win. Jesse Jackson, did he win?
You said.
Did he win?
Hold up. You said.
And he sounds just like the Frank Zanu dude.
Right.
He think he cooking. He sounds just like the Frank Zanu dude.
Where's the Obama in his homeland then? Because when it comes to their homeland, it's the government. The reason why we can't do anything is because of the government. That's what they say. So where's the Obama in your homeland?
Right. But he was right about one thing. Foundational Black Americans shouldn't have been celebrating that shit like we was.
One thing
that was our bad. That was our bad.
And I would say, like somebody mentioned in the comments, is that even Kenyans themselves, ethnic Black Kenyans, just before I came to the US, one of my esteemed, somebody I looked up to, one of my professors, he pulled me aside. He was like, I know you're going to the United States to study, but you should be wary of African Americans. You don't hang out with them. This is somebody who's been has come to the US many times, has come for conferences, he's done, teaching fellowships here, pulled me aside and said, you know what, they would teach you how to sell drugs. And I was shocked, because this is somebody I looked up to. This is somebody who had encouraged me to apply to come to study here, because he had also done his PhD here. So
so when y'all say, it goes both ways, well, we don't do that.
We don't go.
Black Americans don't do that.
Shit. We don't.
None of our parents, grandparents, mentors, nobody never told us to stay away from the Africans and the Caribbeans and all of that shit. Maybe they should have told us that shit.
Right. But
maybe they should have told us that shit. Because the tethering ain't new. You know what I'm saying? But we just didn't peep game soon enough. So now this generation, we telling our kids about the tethers. Our kids going to be up on game. They ain't going to be naive and thinking, all skin folk is kinfolk and all of that. You know what I mean?
I want to correct someone in here. He said that Tariq created the 1804 movie when he was still in his Pan-African bag. He was never Pan-African. He's already said that. Just because he did a movie on history and trying to shed a better light, on the history of the diaspora, does not make a person Pan-African. He's just showing respect to the history.
And regardless to what, he was still a foundational Black American.
Period. A Haitian didn't do it.
He's still the one that did the movie.
A Haitian didn't do it.
You know what I'm saying? So that even if you were correct, he was a Pan-African and he chose to do the movie and all that. Even if you were correct, that further proves the point.
Right.
That further proves the point that that Pan-Africanism is a one-way street.
Yep.
Okay, so thank you for the information. The false information, but whatever. Still proves the point. Let me go to the next one. This is why we delineate, family. I got so many.
Is not a foundational Black American derogatory name. He said Black people were calling them coconuts, Haitians coconuts. That's not I don't remember that word coming up as a roast. A roasting.
Yeah, we never said that shit. We never said that kind of shit. Oh, this is Burna Boy right here. Let me see what Burna Boy was talking about.
I'm here with a man himself, the African giant Burna Boy, and I want to ask you, why is it important that the diaspora come home?
You know why?
And that's what's his name?
I forget.
Not Akala. Damn, what's this nigga's name? Some of y'all in the chat know who's that's talking to him. That's talking to him.
He's in the UK.
Trying to get him to encourage. Well, he's from Jamaica,
but he's in the UK somewhere.
No, I think he's in Africa, but you're probably getting him mixed up with Akala, because that's who I'll be getting him mixed up with. Akala is the one that's in the UK, with the white woman. I just found that out recently. He got a white woman.
Wow.
But what's this dude's name? Some of y'all know his name, but he's trying to get Burna Boy to tell us why we need to come back home.
Yeah, he ain't home. He ain't home.
That's America, for example, right? Because this we can use anywhere.
And of course, you want to use America for example, right? We always the example. They don't never send this message to Jamaicans and the Caribbeans and tell them they need to come back home. The message is always to us. We just rent free all the time.
Yeah, but let's just use America, right? Why do you think the Chinese American, has their respect, and they don't go through the things that African Americans go through? Even though they might go through their struggles, I'm not taking anything away from them, but they don't go through what the African American goes through. You know why? Because the Chinese American has a base. He actually knows where he's from in China.
Right.
Oh,
God, this is so exhausting.
Literally, he knows where he's from in China. Like, shut up.
That shit is so tired and exhausting.
Literally.
Here's the thing. Because we already know why that narrative is so false. But let's just say that the way history has been taught was the actual thing. You know what I'm saying? That we all are just stolen Africans over here in America, and you know, we don't know our origin, where we come from in Africa and all of that. Why is the onus on us to make the connection and not the Africans that sold us off in the first place? Why is not the onus on them? Because he's saying, okay, the Chinese person, they get respect in America because they have a home base kind of to back them up. They're saying, you know, China's a world power. And so, you know, they got some influence and some say-so in how Chinese people are going to be treated over here. Who's backing us up in Africa? Nobody stepped up to say, yo, y'all gonna make sure that the Black Americans over there get treated right because we holding them down over here.
Right. And the reason why you know, the Chinese and stuff like that is such a superpower right now is because we would have been in that position had they not destroyed everything that we had built, which is what they were afraid of to begin with. So they would rather allow the Chinaman, you know, to become the superpower over us. You know what I'm saying? You think about
Allow,
it. If all of our
word.
Wall Streets had not been destroyed, that would have been our position, and we would have never gone over to Africa or the Caribbean as they have to exploit it.
Exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? Let me see. Now, going back to earlier when I played the clip of Dr. Ma'at explaining to me how, you know, we don't completely lose our culture, it doesn't completely get erased. And she was kind of saying that I would probably agree with whoever she was talking about, who said that Black Americans are basically a Frankenstein of, you know, we're an invention of the Europeans because everything was erased from us and we are only what they created us to be. You know, she was saying I would agree with that. And no, I wouldn't agree with that. I would agree with what Dr. Wilson was trying to tell us, though, because Dr. Wilson had a fair critique of Black American culture that came from a place of love, that came from a place of knowledge and understanding of who we are and how we got to become who we are. And so I agree with this sentiment here. Not that we're Frankensteins. Really, Professor James Small might agree with the Frankenstein thing because he kind of said something like that when he said we're a hologram of, you know, the European, the enslavers here. You know what I'm saying? We're just a projection of, you know, what they created us to be and how they want the world to see us. Right? He said something to that effect. You know, I'm paraphrasing here, but it sounded like his statement was more in alignment with what she was trying to say. My sentiment is more in alignment with what Dr. Wilson was trying to say right here. So let me let Dr. Wilson cook for a minute.
In the last 500 years, Black people in this area of the world, we can say that there's no such thing as Black culture. What there is what the system of racism, white supremacy programs Black people to do. You see, in other words, if the system of racism, white supremacy says, you are not going to be scientists. You are not going to be highly functioning doctors and lawyers and teachers. You are not going to have stable family life. You are not going to respect sex. Now your role is to entertain me. So you can jump up and down and sing. You can dance. And yes, you're good at sports. You can do that in some venues. That's what I'm going to allow you to do. I'm not going to allow you to have stable communities, because if you have a Tulsa, Oklahoma, I'm going to burn that down. If you think you're going to stabilize a so-called middle-class community and you're going to have a home that's mortgaged, I'm going to see that those mortgages are foreclosed so that you can be into family dissolution, place of living dissolved. So what we can say is that we have an imposed culture under the power dynamics of racism, white supremacy.
Boom. So to me, what that means is what we define as Black culture has been limited to being a response to our oppression. We haven't really truly seen the level of innovation that we can have if we were, autonomous, if we weren't constantly sabotaged,
right,
if we weren't constantly being manipulated and, systematically programmed and controlled. You know what I'm saying? If we were able to develop on our own, what would be the culture then?
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you take a microcosm of that and just look at hip hop, because hip hop is not Black culture. Hip hop is just a cultural expression that comes from Black culture. But if you take hip hop and you look at the initial trajectory that hip hop was on before it became corporatized, the way that it was moving towards, upliftment, consciousness, you know what I'm saying? Until the corporations got involved and started to steer it in a different direction, and they started to prioritize the gangster mentality and the bling bling, and all of the other things that are associated with hip hop now. You know what I'm saying? But when it was on its own trajectory, and it came strictly from us, it was going somewhere more progressive, more positive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But now when you look at what hip hop is now, it comes with all of the corruption that got poured on top of it. Same thing with Black American culture at large. You know what I'm saying? When we're left to our own devices, we build Black Wall Streets. You know what I'm saying? But when we have to deal with the oppression and the sabotage that comes from, systematic white supremacy, you get the projects and the ghettos.
Right. And when we talk about oppression and the sabotage, we're talking about an army. We're talking about government. We're talking about bombs being dropped, on civilians, because they'll try to even sugarcoat how that went down. You guys complain too much about oppression, as if, the oppression wasn't us dying. Bombs being dropped in our neighborhoods, not just the white mobs or the Ku Klux Klan. We had the actual government. In the 80s, what was that in Philadelphia?
Yep,
Bombs was being dropped in the 80s.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So this isn't that long ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When we're talking about the oppression and the sabotage that was happening to Foundation of Black Americans.
Right. And also, the media propaganda machine,
right,
which is extremely powerful. Because another thing I saw that the Frank Zanu said in one of those interviews, I think the one with our brother Dave Anderson. Dave Anderson was making a point about the social engineering that takes place and the programming that takes place and why people in Africa are bleaching their skin and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And Frank Zanu was like, okay, but why did it work? And his assertion was that the only reason why it works is because by default, we already think like that anyway. We already have a low sense of group self-esteem. We already have a dysfunctional culture to begin with. He's saying before the Europeans got involved, before imperialism, before slavery, before anything, we never built anything. We never built functional societies in the first place. So we were already preconditioned to these circumstances. So that's the reason why the program works on us. That's what he was trying to say.
Yeah, no, that works
and when
on
you
them
do that,
over there.
Yeah, when you do that, that underestimates the power of not only the media, but the educational systems, like different apparatuses that go into the social engineering and the programming. Like that shit is powerful. The images and all of that stuff.
And also there were laws, that were in place, what I'm saying, so that these people can uphold, their subjugation against us. Let's not forget that.
Right. Right. Good point. Good point. Let's go to some more videos. Let's go to some more videos over here. This is why we delineate, family. Why delineation is important. That's what we're talking about here.
Oh, I want you to play this one too.
Which one?
The one I sent in this morning. The guy who's in the military.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make sure we get to that.
Yeah.
I'll make sure we get to that. But the hip hop thing, got plenty of videos in here addressing that whole thing, the hip hop thing.
50-50.
Yeah, I think we beat that up enough. Should I play any of those videos?
Honestly, I think we beat that enough. At the end of the day, hip hop is a foundational Black American creation, and other groups, you know, are students. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is.
Does this get taken down or something? Or that video might have got taken down, man. It ain't coming up. But what's this right here? Hold on. Oh, this is just an example of, you know, how we emulated all over the world. Look at this.
The influence.
You know what I mean? They're way over in goddamn China somewhere.
And you see them, they getting locks. You know, they're making their hair turn into afros with these little straws and stuff like that. Literally, this is how deep our influence go.
Right. I got to play this though, and this is why we delineate.
Understand this whole
shit. Too much music. Too much music. This was a video that I actually made in the barbershop. This guy right here was telling the truth about his family members too. Hold on. Damn, it ain't playing. It ain't playing. But this guy right here, I think he was from Liberia. And he talked about, you know, how they're told to stay away from us when they come over here. You know, so
crazy.
People try to say it's just some online shit. That dude was in my chair. That dude was in my chair. You know what I mean? Yeah, right here, you got the whole Jamaican started hip hop thing and all of that. My sister Rhea right here, she's a Caribbean sister who speaks truth to power. She speaks truth to power. I think this was about the Michael B. Jordan thing. Remember when Michael B. Jordan came out with the drink, the Juve drink, and then the Trinidadians shut that down immediately. Nicki Minaj and them.
Nicki Minaj.
They was gatekeeping like a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
They knew how to delineate then.
And now you see she going through whatever she going through. I hear like a foreclosure. She's kind of been attacking Gavin Newsom out here. Now the people are attacking her because, you know, she went and spoke against I guess something with Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. And we're gonna let her hold her on us.
Yeah, because she don't let the Trump administration gas her up to be some type of ambassador to go out there. I don't know what she got going on.
And notice, though, the Pan-Africans and the Caribbeans, nobody's talking shit.
Right.
They too busy focusing on us. We don't go out our way to sabotage anyone.
Right. And this sister right here, she tells the truth. Shout out to her.
Michael B. Jordan taught all of us Black Caribbeans today. You don't own and you need to start putting a monetary value on who you are before somebody else who isn't this hue does it.
As she had rap chronicles.
So actor Michael B. Jordan just recently announced that he was going to be releasing a Caribbean rum called Juve. I believe he also trademarked the name Juve as well, but I don't know. We'll see if that is.
I got cut it off because of the music. But a lot of y'all remember what happened with that situation right there.
Where was the Pan-Africanism in that? Where was the unity? Because we all Black, right?
This one is kind of long, but this is a collage of a lot of tethers getting into the reparations conversation where they ain't got no business at. I ain't gonna play the whole thing, but I'll play a couple examples for y'all right here while we delineate.
How can anyone deny these facts? Why is it immigrants are not stopping reparations?
My ancestors come from the Caribbean, and there were slaves in the Caribbean, and we didn't
qualify for the American reparations.
Well, here's the challenge:
even the white woman told her, but you don't even qualify for the American reparations. Right. The white women had to tell her that. Why are you running your mouth? You shouldn't even be a part of this conversation.
Right, go holler at the crown that y'all worship.
so many difficulties with trying to enact reparations, in part because the question is who gets them. Potentially I could fall into that category. I honestly have called a pipe dream in the past, and I think that's what it is.
Well, it would be nice if there was an elegant, simple solution to all sorts of complicated problems. You're not actually talking about how to fix those problems if you're only talking about reparations, if we're only debating how we're going to parcel out responsibility for something.
This guy's Jamaican.
Something that happened more than a century ago. And we're probably never going to do this. It's not clear to me why we're pursuing this thing.
Is it fair?
All that we shit, right? All that we and us and our, right? And it's the infamous Candace Owens right here.
There's no reparations, no restitution, nothing.
Should the Irish get reparations, by the way? Irish need not apply signs when they came here during the progressive era. I mean, how far do we want to take this down? Are we
Not our fight.
acknowledging that there are ugly spots in history? Because 60% of the world would be entitled to slave reparations if you wanted to play that game.
Well, here's not from the U.S. government.
Right.
Ain't got nothing to do with what we talking about. And most of those empires that you're talking about don't even exist anymore.
And no one was enslaved like and how long foundational Black Americans were, period. You can't compare. Indentured servitude is different than slavery.
Fact, slavery ended 154 years ago. It's been a long, long time since we had slavery in this country.
This guy's from Costa Rica, by the way. Black-ass Costa Rican.
People like my family. I'm Black, but my family came to the United States in 1962. My parents are from
Black.
Costa Rica. Do I get a check?
I did a couple of essay contests.
This is Lovely's punk ass. I mean, what's her name? Lovey. Well, her anti-Black American ass talking about how she got that money from the NAACP for talking down on reparations.
That I actually won. And I won like NAACP AXO award for this essay and something else. I can't remember another, like I ended up winning money. And the essay was, do you think Black people should get reparations? And I was like, no, you didn't work for it.
What? You see what I'm saying?
That's crazy to me. But these are the same people who are screaming, vomiting, and everything about illegal aliens
Right.
coming here getting free benefits, unearned benefits. All these people are literally going crazy over this. But when it comes to what happened to foundational Black Americans, we don't deserve it.
Right. And what we're doing is not just petty. It's very important that we do what we do, because, and this video is not going to play, but there was another video here where LL was doing an interview on the radio show out there in LA with the Mexican dude. I forgot his name. The Mexican dude that hosts the radio show out there in LA. Cruise show or something like that.
Yeah. That's Power 106. Yeah.
Yeah. LL was on there and he was repeating the lie that Latinos co-created hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a lot of people who really believe that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I used to believe that. No, I ain't really believe the Latino thing. I never thought that, but the Caribbean thing and the African origins and all of that stuff, I used to think that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just the way that the story has been told. And so it's important to correct the narrative and get the history right. You know what I mean? So it ain't about just being petty. What's this right here? Hold on, let me see. Let me see what this one is.
And I would love to know when there can someone point out a time that foundational Black Americans have gone to Africa or the Caribbean and got involved in their politics and told their government what they should and shouldn't get.
Never.
Name.
Never. We go over there and help them folks. We go over there and spark revolutions.
Never had anything to do with any until they came here. I mean, they never lived, well, what you'd say, close enough to us, or we just never around them, really.
Isn't that part of what makes it difficult when you live 15 or 17 years of your life and then start doing something different all of a sudden?
Well, I think, like if a Spanish or a Chinese person came here, it wouldn't be hard to get along with them.
Okay, so now I see why I put this one in here, because it's showing you the mindset of the white supremacists and how they prefer immigrant Blacks over foundational Black Americans because they're viewed as acceptable Negroes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she can't tolerate us, but she's saying that if they came from somewhere else, maybe, you know, we kind of put up with them a little bit.
Meaning they won't fight back.
Exactly.
The Negroes are what you might say more different to us than a Spanish person might be. Never had anything to do with any until they came.
All right. So that's another example of why we delineate. Should I go through a couple more videos? How long we been on here?
An hour and 40.
All right, and then I'll play a couple more. Then we'll get to the one you were talking about, and then we'll start winding it down. But we didn't get through like even a small portion of these goddamn videos here.
Well, I'm glad you did that. You need to make a video collage.
Right. What's this one right here? I think this is Fela Kuti's son.
One of the greatest.
Yeah, Sean Kuti. He exposes the darkest political secret in Africa. So let's see what he's talking about right here. I don't remember.
And darkest and dirtiest secret of Africa today is that majority of our political leaders in Africa and politicians and military juggernauts, you know, were all, you know, agents of the slave trade, you know. And so what can we gain when we are still being ruled by this?
So he's talking about the leadership class over there in these African countries are the descendants of the people that sold us into slavery.
I mean, where's the lie? Where is the lie?
And a lot of, not all, but a lot of them that come over here are really tied to those classes over here. Like they don't just bring, you know, the regular average dirt poor citizens over here for the most part. Like over where I live at in Gwinnett County, it's a large African population out here from all over Africa, all different parts of Africa, and many of them
surprising to me because it's Georgia. You know what I'm saying?
They deep out here. They deep. I ain't gonna, every part of the continent, from East Africa, West Africa, South Africans, Sudanese, like they here. You know what I mean? And a lot of them are tied in with like diplomats from their country. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They have political ties. They come from like, you know, their parents were both professionals and stuff like that. It's not like just your everyday average citizens over that get fast tracked over here like that. Many of them are tied in with the type of people that he's talking about. The descendants of the former slave traders. You know what I mean? Those are the ones that get fast tracked over here. I ain't saying they're the only ones over here. Those are the ones that get fast tracked over here. Those are the ones that be trying to flex when they get over here.
Because they get they're rubbing elbows with some of our politicians.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that there was something going on in Atlanta, as a matter of fact, this weekend, right?
What's that?
Something was happening out there. I think what's her name? Jasmine Crockett was in Atlanta.
Oh, some political stuff?
Yeah.
I ain't sure. I was gonna make today's topic about her, by the way. Jasmine Crockett. We'll get to her. We got time.
We got time.
Let me play one more good one. Should Dr. Anderson? Nah, y'all know Dr. Anderson already. Let's play one more good one before we end this segment right here. Let me see. Trying to see one that I recognize what they talking about. Let me see, what's this? Evidence of how the U.S. government neutralized Black Americans after 1968. Okay, let's see what this is.
Wonder why Black people haven't caught up yet, despite slavery ending over 150 years ago.
Hold on. Okay, I just had to make sure it was on the screen. Okay.
They're wrong. It ended 80 years ago. When was the last slave freed in America? It wasn't after the Civil War, it was during World War II in September 1942. Our current president, Joe Biden, was born 2 months later. Until he graduated from college, Black people had to drink out of a separate water fountain. Segregation didn't end until the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Jim Crow ended with the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which allowed Black people to vote again. But just a few years after that, Nixon came along with his war on drugs, which disenfranchised and imprisoned even more Black people. on purpose.
The Nixon campaign in 1968 and the Nixon White House after that had two enemies, the anti-war left and black people. You understand what I'm saying? We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and the blacks with heroin, then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. We could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news.
So a lot of what we've been pointing out here tonight.
Right.
A lot of what we've been pointing out here tonight. And so, but if you let Zanu tell it, our condition has nothing to do with racism and white supremacy. It's just all our own fault.
Yeah, we spoiled. That's it.
You know what I mean? And like I said, the crazy thing about him is he's not delineating. He's attributing that to us and them as Africans. The reason why black people globally can't get right is because something genetically wrong with us, according to him. We're just genetically flawed, and we have a predisposition to dysfunction.
Yeah, they colonized his mind real good.
That's a real self-hating Negro right there. That's
right there.
And the reason why he's so dangerous is because he is well-spoken, even though he got a heavy-ass accent. He is very well-spoken. He's a great communicator. He knows how to communicate his message well. And you know, for people that don't know no better, that could be very confusing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's important that we do what we do.
So I just want to bring that up where I saw Jasmine Crockett. So Teslin yesterday posted damn near 40,000 Black people of all ages, primarily in the South, will be attending the Celebration Bowl today in the Black Mecca, Atlanta. I'm going to ask as many Black people as possible what their top 3 voting issues are. I want to see if it matches what the non-Black people and the 15 Black people at best on the internet says. You know, she likes to take shots at the internet because, you know, which we know that, you know, reparations and delineation and all this stuff is not necessarily just on the internet. That's the narrative that they would like to push. However, you know, places like California, right? We've managed to get some language right, you know, on applications and stuff like that. And reparations is a national conversation, so it can't not just be the internet. So I want to just dispel that.
But celebrating.
It says the Celebration Bowl. I don't know what that is, but it's in Atlanta, and she was taking pictures with, you know, Jasmine like Crockett.
Football game. I think it's a football game.
Okay, it's just a bunch of
it must be a football
just
game.
a bunch of the, you know, Boule, you know, class, who all the people that's pushing for immigration and nothing for Black Americans. That's just it.
So they all going to the football game.
Yeah,
that's Black excellence. Okay,
that's Black excellence.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. But let me play the video that you was talking about as the final example for today of why we delineate. We can go on and on and on. We could do a 5-hour show just playing these videos, but this is going to be the final example, the final example for today of why we delineate as Black Americans. Now, here's a brother. I don't know who he is. I'm not familiar with this podcast at all, but he was in the military apparently, and he's talking about when he was deployed over to Africa, and he got a Black American wake-up call because he thought we was all brothers. So let's listen to his story. This is common, by the way.
It is that probably unique for the audience, but like to this day, I don't call myself African American. I call myself Black American, right? I say I'm Black, but there's a reason for that. Because a tour that once we went to Namibia, I remember that the African people, they were great hosts, right? They loved the fact that we were there. They wanted to show you everything and show and, you know, really get you out in town. So they had a program set up where, you have these hosts that just take you and give you tours. And so I'm in there, we on the tour, and I kept calling this dude, brother. Hey, brother, how's it going, brother? And he just mid tour, he stopped me. He's like, hey, why you keep calling me brother? And I'm like, oh, well, you know, African American. I'm an African American. You're an African. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, man. You're not African. You say, no, you're not an African. You're an American. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't want an international incident around here, man. Because this brother was hot. He went from, 1 to 10 like that. And I'm like, hey, got it. Can I say black? Man, I'm black American. He's like, yeah, you black, but you're not an African. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
I'm not African. And I was really like taken back by that because I'm like, hold on, I thought this was, culturally understood across the world. And it's like, no, it is
like,
not.
You never lived here.
Yeah, you never lived here. Yeah, your ancestors maybe, but you do not come from here.
Right.
And so I was still curious about that. So every other stop, or every other person I introduced, I said, well, how do Africans feel about black Americans that come over here and call themselves African Americans? And to a man, every last one of them said, no, we don't look at y'all as Africans. I said, okay. Saying you're African, you got to be from Africa.
Noted.
And so that wasn't on the internet. Okay, that was his real experience. Y'all gonna discount his lived experience? Y'all gonna discount that? How we gonna do Pan-Africanism with that?
We not. We ain't gonna even attempt to. They said we ain't African. We ain't African. So this, I'm going to assume this is a tether too. Son of Man says that basically, and I lost the thing, but he was saying something to the effect
He
that
gives up on his ancestors.
No, he said something about us being a cult. Oh, he said FBA is a cult, and 99% of Black Americans are not affiliated with Tariq's cult. Well, you are because you're here. Welcome to the cult. So you are because you're here. Because that's the thing. We're not up in you guys' YouTube spaces. We're not on any space that you guys give. We're minding our own foundational Black American business. Yet you're here. So you're a part of the cult. Welcome.
Obsessed. Obsessed, man.
Rent free. Rent free.
Man. And so I want to talk about something that's been going viral on social media. Have y'all seen I think it was World Star that put out this thing saying that the barber industry, but there's just been this thing going around on social media saying the industry has lost $400 million or something like that due to rising prices. They're saying basically, barbers, we raising our prices up too high and people not coming to get their hair cut no more. And all of this money is missing from the barber and beauty industry because of it. We pricing ourselves out of business is basically what they're saying. And this is bullshit. I don't know where this meme or whatever came from, but there's no verifiable statistics bureau or anything like that that's giving these numbers. This is just some random person that put this shit up on the internet, and people are running with it. They just running with it. Like it's just a made up number. Like that's if you really look at the numbers when they talk about what the barber industry is worth, like overall, and you talk about $400 million, that's like damn near 15% of the whole industry. Y'all saying it got wiped out because niggas raised their prices up. Can't be further from the truth. And they talking about the $100 haircuts and stuff like that. And on average, if you look at the national average of haircut prices, it's still $35.
Right.
The national average is still $35 for a cut. You know what I'm saying? Some people charge $100. Yeah, they do, but those are luxury cuts. Those are luxury people that have luxury clients.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They cater to a certain clientele base. A lot of times they celebrities or people traveling. That just got it like that. You know what I'm saying? And they're traveling, yeah, and they're performing specific services. It's not just you come get a Caesar or come get a fade and it's $100. No,
right.
You know what I mean?
It's an experience. I think that when I see $100 haircut, that comes with some type of experience. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Where you're steaming and all that. It may come with a facial type shit, but it's not just
some VIP shit. Right. There's gonna be some VIP shit. And then the person that's giving that service, they have a certain reputation behind them. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's through their social media or certain clients that they have, you know, the amount of time that they've been in the industry or whatever the case may be, they put in enough work to be able to, you know, charge those rates. But on average, the national average is $35 for a haircut. And yeah, that's an increase over the years from back in the days when we was charging $10, $15 for a haircut. You know what I'm saying?
But shit, everything else
the price
went
of
up.
everything has gone up. Right. The price of everything going up. The price to keep the lights on has gone up. Booth rent has gone up. The price that the price of the clippers and the supplies and stuff that we use, everything has gone up. And so in order for us to survive and in order for us to be able to have to adjust the prices, you know what I'm saying, to meet inflation and all that. You know what I'm saying? It's natural. And most people understand that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I recently been communicating with my clients that in the beginning of the year, you know, the price is about to go up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Once it hit 2026, I sent out a mass text to everybody, getting everybody prepared. You know what I'm saying? Let them know, look, the price is gonna have to go up. We're gonna be starting off in the beginning of the year. These are gonna be the new prices right here. Getting everybody ready. None of my clients had a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know what it is. You know what I mean? You go to the gas pump, the price is going up. You go in the grocery store, the prices is going up. Your utility bills is going up. It is. You know what I'm saying?
And y'all gotta live too.
I don't know where that bullshit came from. Right. I don't know where that bullshit came from, but that was some nonsense.
Listen, I get this hair done every 2 weeks. I ain't gonna stop. I'm gonna squeeze it in. I'm squeezing hair in my budget one way or the other, regardless of what them prices gonna be.
You know what I mean? Especially us, FBA, the culture.
Right.
That's part of the culture. They talking about people gonna start cutting their own hair. People gonna start cutting their own hair at home and all that. All right, good luck with that.
Yeah, no.
Good luck with you. You'll be back. You gonna come back and see me.
I can't do no weave. I
ain't
can't
worried
do
about
no
that.
weave.
You know what I'm saying? I had clients leave and go elsewhere, you know, not just for the prices, but some because of the prices at times, but they always come back.
Come back.
They always come back. You know what I'm saying?
Not the same.
And to be honest, you know, I'm not even being funny or nothing, but to be honest, it's always the Africans.
Right.
The Africans
they
will be the
push
ones.
back. They done pushed you back. Now you want to come back to me to fix it.
The Africans will be the ones complaining about the new prices. Don't want to pay the new price, and they be like, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Then they go to.
And I don't understand that.
I ain't gonna say the name.
They always talk about all the income that they have. You know what I'm saying? Like, so those little price hikes shouldn't even bother you.
They cheap as hell.
Hikes. I know.
They cheap as hell. They bad tippers. They always want to try to negotiate the price and all of that and all that shit. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So they see the prices on the
you know, on the board or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I want a ball fade or whatever. But your price, sir, it says $40. Can we do it for $30?
Right, they do that.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, they do that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they do that. They
the price is firm.
They try to jostle you down. Yeah, you gotta be real firm with them. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I had a couple leave and they go to the African shop. They be back.
Yeah,
they be right back because it's a little different.
That pushback.
It's a little different. You know what I'm saying? They come back through. Hey, where you been at? Where you been at, brother? You know, try somebody new, but you know, you see my hairline. Yeah, they've been pushing me back over here.
Right.
Like, yeah, come on, let me get you right again. And by the way, we went up $2 more since you left. Welcome back. Yo, and the other thing I wanted to touch on, y'all see they shut down the Ebro in the Morning show on Hot 97.
You know what? And I'm not a fan of his at all, but academics cook their butts. He cooked them so bad.
Did he? What, I didn't see. I didn't see the whole exchange. So what I missed?
Oh, I didn't see them go exchange anything back with him, but he was just cooking them on X.
I saw Ebro. I saw Ebro, and I saw Rosenberg respond to some of it. I didn't see what Drake made a tweet. He just put an axe, I guess, you know, under the tweet saying, oh, okay, they got axed or whatever. And I saw Ebro respond to that, and I saw Rosenberg responded to something that academics had said. And this is what I want to see, because look, yeah, they ending the show, but these guys, they're getting transferred, by the way. Ebro and Rosenberg and them, we haven't seen the last of them, so it ain't really nothing to celebrate about the show going away. No.
You don't think they're going on YouTube?
I don't know what's going to be the next move, but there's another deal on the table for these guys. You know, Ebro's over there at Apple Music, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not a fan of Ebro's politics, you know, his social political commentary and all of that, but he's a decent journalist as far as hip hop is concerned. He does good interviews and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He knows, you know, a lot of the history of, you know, the rap industry. I ain't gonna say hip hop culture, but the rap industry. I don't like to use those things interchangeably. But as far as the rap industry, he knows his stuff. He does good interviews with people, and so does Rosenberg. I'll give Rosenberg credit for being a purist. You know what I'm saying? Over the years, he's always championed a lot of the underground hip hop stuff and all that stuff, and kind of gave that a platform. I'll give props where props is due as far as that's concerned. And so my thing is, whatever their next move is, because the way that they're talking, Ebro and Rosenberg are both saying that this is because the corporation, who owns Hot 97? Is it Clear Channel or one of them, or iHeart? I don't know who the parent company is, but they're basically saying the parent company and all of these parent companies are kowtowing to the Trump administration because Trump got in there and he changed a couple of laws with the FCC and all of that, and the contract laws for the government and all of that. And so now in order for them to do business and, you know, keep their thing going, they have to kowtow to what's going on in the Trump administration. And Ebro's on some, I ain't willing to do that. Rosenberg, I ain't willing to do that. So since I speak truth to power, they had to get rid of me. They got to get me out the way. This is their narrative. They got to get me out the way so they could push this propaganda. This is what they're saying. You said he just look at the different stations, the news channels, the radio stations, and all that. Everybody's controlled. And so basically he's saying we've been controlled. We've had a muzzle on us all of this time. And basically they're saying now we free. So they're not looking at the show getting canceled as an L. They looking at it as now they got their freedom papers. So I want to see what type of talk y'all gonna be talking now that y'all got your so-called freedom papers. Whatever your next move is gonna be, whether it's YouTube, like my sister said, y'all niggas end up on YouTube and or whatever platform y'all go to next. I want to see how y'all gonna be talking now that you say that y'all free, the chains is off. So now you could speak your real mind and you're not just a mouthpiece for these corporations no more. Let's see what you're gonna be talking about now. Let's see if it changes.
He was a mouthpiece before when he said that the record labels were going to focus on African music and Latin music, and we know that's not a lie because it don't pop the way we pop.
Yeah, that wasn't a lie. Yeah, that wasn't a lie.
They tried. I think they tried. Hence why they were pushing Tyler and Burna Boy and stuff like that. But obviously, they're not selling out venues like that. They're canceling tours. You know what I'm saying? So they were trying to, you know, push that. It just didn't sell the way that they wanted it to sell.
Exactly. It was a failed strategy, but it was their strategy nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? They said they're going to start moving their budgets toward Afro beats and world music. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be focused on rap and hip hop no more like that. We was like, okay. And so, you know, that was part of the conversation when they was talking about wasn't no rap songs in the top 40 and all of that shit was going on. You know, that's the result of y'all misallocating these budgets. You're prioritizing these other people. And it's like, you know, again, that's why I said I like to delineate between hip hop and the rap industry. Those are not interchangeable things. We're talking about the rap industry. You're talking about the corporations and what they put budgets behind and all of that. Hip hop culture ain't no budgets. You know, that's just a lived experience that we have as Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be hip hop regardless to whom or what. Shout out to Black Trainer with the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate that. Love the bill with brother Top Flight. Shout out to Top Flight. Yeah, Top Flight came on here and cooked real quick.
Thank you. I remember when Ebro said, he said, rappers better stop being boring and talking about the same shit over and over, chasing TikTok success and comment section.
Yeah, that shit ain't have nothing to do with it.
Nothing.
That shit ain't had nothing to do with it. At all whatsoever. And by the way, we got our brother Mr. Ishmael in the building. Y'all see Mr. Ishmael in the
What's
chat?
up, Ish?
If y'all haven't done so already, y'all make sure that y'all subscribe to my brother's channel right here on YouTube so he can start going live. He got to get a couple more subscribers so he's eligible to go live. That's one of our FBA brothers right there. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe to his channel if you haven't done so already.
I'm not gone. And follow me on TikTok, Nicey Girl without the number 1. Nicey Girl without the number 1 on TikTok, y'all. I posted 2 TikToks today.
Should I do that? What time is it? Nah, we've been on here 2 hours already. They said drop the link so the tethers could come up here and speak their piece. We should have did that a little earlier, but we 2 hours in already.
I see your lips moving. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yes, I hear you.
I can't hear.
Yes. Can y'all hear me? Am I good? I hear her. I hear her. Shout out to Mama Love with the $10 super chat. Appreciate you, Mama Love. Definitely appreciate it. But yeah, we probably should have dropped the link a little bit earlier, man. You know, we've been here for a while. What up, Holla? Drop the link, please. Y'all want us to drop the link. Y'all gonna have to keep it real brief. Let me get Nicey back up here.
Here I am. I can hear.
There you go. You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear now.
All right, I'm gonna drop the link. This is for the tether class only. If y'all want to come up here real quick and keep it brief. Don't come up here and start filibustering. All right.
No trolling either.
Don't come up here and start filibustering. But this is for the tethers in the chat. Nobody else click the link. Only click the link if you're a tether. All right. Or a panty. If you're a tether or a panty naysayer, that link is for you. Give y'all a couple of minutes to hop on here and join the discussion because we ain't gonna be on here too much longer. But I just dropped the link. The link is in the chat.
I see it.
The link is in the chat. We fought for y'all during Elon Gonzalez. A boat of Haitian came and they turned them back. Okay, y'all going back and forth with somebody in the chat. Okay. Last Uncut Raw said, I want to talk to some of them.
I don't want to know what you did back then. What you doing now, other than interfering? What you doing now?
Oh, Haiti Reformation Project. Is that you? Haiti Reformation Project. Why don't you click the link? Haiti Reformation Project. This link is for you. I'm gonna drop it one more time. Ain't nobody clicking the link. I'm gonna drop it one more time. Haiti Reformation Project. Why don't you go ahead and click that link right there? Or OB4366. He says, hi, Akatas, victim gold medalist with main character syndrome. Why don't you click the link?
Right. And that's definitely, you know.
Nah, I'm originally from New York, but I'm down here in GA. Somebody was asking about the barbershop. I'm down here in Georgia.
Going up in here with your iPhone 1.
Maybe they internet like Crew Reality said, maybe they internet too slow. Maybe they actually in their homeland.
And no one
and they signal ain't hitting.
And let's be clear, despite, you know what I'm saying, of this government, despite every, thing that comes against us, we still build and we still remain in our homeland. We did not flee.
Mm-hmm. Okay, ain't nobody coming on here, man. They don't want. They're just trolling in the chat. They're just trolling in the chat. Next time, I need to pay more attention to the chat, so y'all could have let us know that earlier, and I could have had y'all get them up out of here. Because if they're just gonna sit there and troll and not click the link and come up here and say what they got to say, then they need to bounce.
Yeah, they're fans, though. You know what I'm saying? They're definitely fans. Thank you for the support.
Y'all just gonna troll in the chat.
Thank you for the support. We know FBAs are the sauce. Y'all can't resist.
Yes, indeed. And so y'all see that, how do I point to it? I can't even point to it. But y'all see that QR code on the screen right there? It looks like it's on the left side of my head. It might be the right side if y'all watching the other way.
What?
The QR code right here.
Oh yeah, I see it. It
See
actually
that
the
QR code
live
right there?
banner is actually covering it.
I think it's covering it on our side, but y'all should be able to see this QR code right here. And if you scan that QR code, you can go ahead and get my book, From the Womb to Illmatic, a hip-hop blueprint for unleashing your child's inner genius. You know, we right in the thick of the holiday season right now, going to get that book right there. You know what I'm saying? And you could also grab our children's book series.
7, the Super Hero.
Right here.
There's 4 books. Y'all see how
Wait,
I didn't
where
say
is it?
4?
Where is it?
I said 4. It was up.
Why is it not
You clicked
showing?
off of it.
It was?
I don't know. It was. There you go.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Right there. There you go right there. So yeah. So you can also scan that code right to get our children's book if you want to go ahead and get something for the babies. 7 is Super Hero children's book series. We got volumes 1 through 3 plus the activity book that goes with it. Go ahead and get the whole collection. All available on Amazon. So you go ahead and scan those QR codes that you see on your screen and support the movement, man. Support the movement. I think we got, okay, Haiti Reformation. He found his nutsack, or she, I don't know. What you got to say, brother?
And get on camera.
Yo.
On camera.
You on the live. You on the live. What's up? Can you turn your camera on? Oh, I didn't take him out. He got himself up out of here.
Yeah, when I say get on camera, don't want to show that hairline.
I didn't take him out. He got himself up out of here real quick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he ain't coming back. And
Tammy Dorsey,
20 years older.
during that earthquake, I made sure that I sent water as well as water filters over there to Haiti, as well as my money. I'm a foundational Black American that didn't see that devastation and did nothing about it.
What you responding to, Nicey? I ain't see the comment.
She said that I'm 20 years old and I never knew one person that hated Haitians. We were devastated when the earthquake destroyed parts of it. We sent money the Clinton stole. And I'm agreeing, like, we as foundational Black Americans, I know the people that we're connected with made sure that we sent water, money, and filters. Some people even sent clothes, formula, Pampers, and things like that, you know, over there. So foundational Black Americans have always been an ally, you know, and helpful to the people in the diaspora and the Caribbean. So
big facts. That's what we do, man. That's the culture.
That's the culture.
Even now, even though we delineating and all that, it was still many FBAs who was helping out Jamaica and parts of Haiti and all that just got hit over the summer with Hurricane Melissa. Even now, still got FBAs helping out. So that's just who we are.
Over there helping in Jamaica.
Right. So yeah, family, appreciate y'all tapping in with us again on another Sunday. This has been a good build. I thought this was a pretty good build today. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button though before you get up out of here. You know what I mean? Go ahead and share this out so people could go ahead and check out the replay. If you're watching this on the replay, leave us some comments in the comment section, man. Let us know what you think about the build today. Give us some feedback, add on to the conversation. All of that good stuff. Right. But yeah, that does it for today's episode of SincereluvdagodCast. Always remember, family, we are not the master teachers, but we are the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media. We out of here. Peace.